JJ Solomon.
And this is the Spit Bucket Podcast. This is the Spit Bucket Podcast.
It's your boy, Mr. LTBA, Mr. 214, Senor Dos, Uno Cuatro, Senor Dos, Catorce, Mr. Undeniable, Mr. D-Boy can't touch me. On my worst day, right here with my dog, JJ Solomon. What's popping?
What's up, Corey? What's up, bro?
Man, this is the Spit Bucket Podcast, episode 19. Salute to everybody on here from that 214 to across the pond. We need you to share this, like this, tell your friends. The hottest thing smoking, the Spit Bucket Podcast. We live and direct, and we will really appreciate that. JJ, what's popping, man? How was your week? How was your weekend, fam?
Weekend was great. Cowboys got a W. Spent some time with the family. Hadn't seen these folks in a while, so it's good to be back. Hope everybody had a wonderful Thanksgiving.
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah. Hey, it's a season of giving and sharing, so why don't just share this episode? Share with all your friends.
Share this episode. And also, big shout out to our sponsors, KO Therapeutics. Please go to KOCBD.com. JJ, go and tell them about KO Therapeutics.
KO Therapeutics, guys. Pain management, just CBD, anxiety, sleep, that sort of deal. CBD is a powerful game changer, and these guys are doing it right. Maximum levels of CBD. So check it out, KOCBD.com. Use discount code TSB10, and stop hurting so much.
Yeah, stop hurting so much. I'm telling you, they one of the best in the business when it comes to pain reliever, if not the best. And we just advise y'all to go to KOCBD.com and get the hottest new pain reliever on the market.
We got a new partner, too, in Christy Martin, remember?
Oh, yeah, we got Christy Martin, too, with our partner. Shout out to Christy Martin. Shout out to her, too, because she was doing something down there with BLK Prime.
BLK.
You seen that?
Speaking of BLK.
But before we get to that, we need to salute to KO Therapeutics, man, because we really appreciate them. I want y'all to check this out.
We all have battles. We fight. We train. We work. We persevere. And we celebrate. We are all one.
I can't do anything if I can't walk in my prosthetic. It's a lot of pain that I feel throughout my day. It can be very intense. Now I just put that balm over it and it will heal up much faster and it will let the callus recover. That's amazing. It is a total game changer. I am hooked. I'm just hooked.
Life is hard. KO makes it better. KOCBD.com.
KOCBD.com. Check out the KO Therapeutics. Like I said, it's Christmas time. You got uncles, aunts, brothers, sisters who's constant pain. Believe me, they'll love you forever and ever and ever. So check them out, KOCBD.com. Use discount code TSB10. Yep, but now we back, man.
30th.
Yeah,
like we were saying,
episode 19.
Episode 19, like we were saying, Christy Martin, she was doing some work with BLK Prime. Yeah. Salute to her. But like you said, speaking of BLK Prime, Jose Jr., they had a big fight this weekend. It's always going to be, it may not have been what we wanted, but it's always going to be a big event when you got one of the top fighters in the world in terms of Bud Crawford fighting.
Yeah, no doubt, man. We had a great year of boxing, and obviously we would have finished off with the dream fight with Spence and Crawford, and everybody had been happy and all that, but it's still sitting out there. But, you know, a lot of folks didn't want Crawford Avanesan, and we got it, and it happened, and there's been a lot of discussion and a lot of debate. Crawford did what we all knew he'd do. He'd go in there, handled his business. It looked like they had a nice, thick crowd. He put David Avanesan out again, just like we expected. So, I mean, what can you say, man? What can you say? If you want to call it, if you wanted to see his see if he had to shake off the cobwebs or if there was any ring rust or anything. I mean, I think he accomplished what he had to do, and he looked good doing it. But it's Crawford Albanese, so what?
I mean, like you said, he did what he's supposed to do. Other than that, it was really nothing about this card that intrigued me from the top to the bottom. Not even having Terrence Crawford on the card, it didn't intrigue me, but I understand it's a big thing when you have one of the top fighters in the world fighting on a Saturday night. But nothing about this card intrigued me from top to bottom.
And that's not hating.
That's not hating.
No, it's not hating.
I think it was a piss poor performance in putting on the show, leading up to the press conference, then the weigh-in, then when you actually seen the undercard fights, and then you seen the main event.
It was a $40. It was a $40. Damn near felt like a club fight night. But look, man. Here's the thing. It'd be okay. Salute. I mean, salute to you guys, y'all. It's a new player in the game. They said that everything went great, beyond expectations.
I didn't know that.
They said, here's what bothers me a little bit. All right, the rumor out there is 15,000 pay-per-view buys. That's the rumor. Where have we come as a sport? If 15,000 pay-per-view buys is a success for one of the top pound-for-pound fighters in the world, where have we come as a sport, bro?
That's a success to them?
I mean, that's the number we said, I think, right? Didn't we say over under 15 or 20?
Yeah, it's under 20. It was something around that range. We'll have to go back and look. But 15,000 is a success? That's not a success. That's a major failure. And how do we know?
We don't know
that 15,000.
Yeah.
We don't even know if that's true. But if they say 15,000, let's run with that. That's horrible. JJ, that's horrible. Everybody from the 214 to across the pond, that's horrible. Like, where have we come, like you said?
It's a damn shame, man. And, like, what really bothered me, Crawford Bud was on the Boxing Boys. Shout out to Ness and Danny. And saying the United States don't support boxers the way they do in Saudi Arabia. He would love to fight Errol Spence in Saudi Arabia because they'll put 60,000 asses in the seat. Look, man, we got a stadium. I don't know if you've seen it. We got a stadium right here in Arlington that will hold 60,000. And I promise you, like when he says America and United States don't care about fighters, we've been begging for this fight for so long. So you're going to put the seat, the people in the seat, you're going to sell the tickets. I didn't understand that comment. But hey, what happens now? Like,
I have no idea what happens now because I was under the impression Crawford just signed a one-fight deal.
That's what he said.
With them. That's what he said.
Yeah.
And it's like, if I'm BLK Prime and I'm looking at it, I don't give a damn because you one of the top fighters in the world. It's all about dollars and cents when it comes to doing business. If this guy just got 15,000 pay-per-views, how do you re-sign him to do a next fight with these astronomical amount of numbers that they said they supposedly gave him in 10 mil? We'll get to that later. But how do you re-sign him for another fight, JJ? I don't get it.
Well, I don't even know if you're asking the right question. If you're investing $10 million, which again we'll get into that here in a little bit. If you're investing, let's say the number's $10 million, and you know that this fight's not going to generate $10 million, which all signs are pointing that it didn't. So that's telling me that this company is investing. They know this first fight's going to be a little bit of a loss. So that means you're having a long-term 2 or 3 fight deal. So Bud coming out and saying it was a 1-fight deal, then it doesn't make sense from a BLK perspective that this is just a 1-fight deal. We spent $10 million and now we hope you come back.
Yeah, like what type of sense do that make? I give you $10 million and we hope you come back. This dude said 1 fight. So I don't get it. Like I never got it. You know, I don't believe it, but that's just me. I don't got to believe it because I don't, and especially seeing that card and the way it was put together. You know, I never believed it. I don't got to believe it that he got this $10 million. And BLK Prime signed him to a 1-fight deal. That just don't make no sense as a business.
We talked about last time I think we were here, man, and it's look, I'm tired of reading reports that aren't founded. I'm tired of seeing numbers. I don't want to talk about something I don't know, so I don't want to say, oh yeah, 15,000 or he didn't make 10 million. He only actually makes six. I don't know. We don't know, but none of it makes sense. Those numbers, I don't care how much Crawford made. I really don't.
Well, me either. What is it doing for us? We ain't getting none of it.
Yeah, I don't care how much Crawford made. I mean, if you're going to come out and lie about it, I mean, that's kind of corny. Like you're grown
yeah,
ass
you
man.
know, but think about it, Jay. You know why they said that, right? That's the narrative that came out, whether it's true or not. I don't believe it, but whether it's true or not, that's the narrative that came out after they signed this fight with David Avanesian, which was the last time, like you stated earlier, we was in the studio. That's when this narrative came out, after they signed David Avanesian to try to put some icing on the cake. Oh, I'm fighting this fight that don't make no sense, but I'm getting $10 million. That never made sense to me.
It doesn't, man. What if any chance in hell you think that if the Spence fight does happen, it happens on BLK?
Absolutely not.
What if that $25 million number Bud was throwing around is true?
Like, absolutely not. And we were speaking on that. That $25 million number don't even make sense a piece, because the thing is, you don't even know if they're getting the whole $25 million a piece as a whole, because you got to do at least $1 more than the number that they put out there to make back for each fighter to come out with that type of money. You can't just guarantee, oh, I'm going to give you 25, you 25. We don't know if this fight going to do 50 mil. We don't know that.
Yeah.
So that was just.
Now, I think, bro, I'll be honest. I think, like I said, when DAZN came out, I was huffing and puffing. Like, this is stupid. It's an app. This ain't HBO. This isn't Showtime. But we're used to it. It's part of our daily conversation now in the sport. So I'm not hating. Like I said this last time, I want BLK to do well. It's another boxing outlet. That's good for all of us in the business. I'm skeptical that they're going to do well. I want them to do well. I want them to succeed. I want any new company in the business to succeed if they're doing their things right. But, man, it just felt like I was watching a high school production. The whole damn thing just felt cheap. The card was awful. I mean, the co-main event was Christy Cyborg, and all respect to Miss Christy Cyborg. I mean, she's a lovely person, but what are you doing for the sport of boxing? This event did nothing for the big picture of boxing. We didn't get any clarity. He didn't bring up Spence after the fight. It didn't even get brought up. We didn't see anything in the co-main events or the undercard that prospects or anything along those lines. Fans had to dig in their pockets and pay money for, like you said, some damn sparring sessions, and they got to do better. I think if they do have the Spence fight on there, they'll do better. But, man,
It's no way Earl Spence is going to BLK Prime. Like, this is the thing right here. When you got the opportunity and you're a new company, that's why I was measuring this with PBC. When PBC first came on the market, you had big-time players. They made it an event.
Oh, yeah, big names.
Because they knew that they had to show up and show out to make the boxing public believe that they are one of the new generations in promotions or however they're associated to push boxing. BLK Prime failed at that miserably. They didn't do nothing for us as boxing fans. That's got us a hoping and a wishing and a wishing and a hoping when the next time they gonna fight each other. Like, all the production around it, like you said, high school, it was terrible. And me as a boxing fan, a lot of people around the world as boxing fans, who's looking forward to their next event?
Yeah, dog. Like, think about this, too, because I'm always talking about new eyeballs on the sport, which is probably the reason I appreciate Jake Paul is the new eyeballs on the sport. Let's say that you had some homies over at the house to watch the Bud Crawford fight and BLK, and they're not really into boxing, but you're hoping let's say that was somebody's first boxing pay-per-view event, or the first time they've watched boxing on pay-per-view since 2000, and they see that. I know we're being petty and talking about things that don't really matter, but marketing is important. Marketing is big. How things look is big. How things are presented is big. How the broadcast team sounds is big. So if that's your first time in a long time watching boxing, are you going to come back? I don't think so. Terrible undercard, terrible co-main event, terrible production. So it did nothing for new boxing audience either. Like, it just did nothing, man. It cost money. It did nothing. It pissed a lot of people off. It almost feel like we took a step backwards in the super fight that we're all wanting. So, like I started off on the show when I said it didn't really do nothing. Congrats, bud. You got the 6-round knockout. But, I mean.
Yeah, it's like, where do we go from here, BLK Prime? What? Listen. And they announced the next undercard. You got Adrian Broner versus
Ivan Redcock.
Yeah. And you got Tevin Farmer versus Mickey Bay. I'm sorry, that's not going to do it.
No.
I respect them guys, but that's not going to do it. Like, I think the most well-off fighter on there who could do big things still is Tevin Farmer. Because he,
yeah.
You know, but that does nothing. That's their next card.
Is that going to be pay-per-view?
I don't know, but Adrian Broner looked like he still weighed 180 pounds.
Listen, I'm trying to see if I'm allowed to speak on this. Very close source said because I can't remember the conversation, but a very close source to the AB and Ivan Redcock fight. I asked. I said it's going to be 140. They laughed and said it's at 135. This was 2 days before it was announced. Mm-hmm. So I was like, all right, cool. AB at 135. All right, what? But homie laughed at me. He's like, come on, don't be. I'm not fighting at 140. He's at 135. Did you see Adrian Broner on Saturday, dude?
Yeah, I've seen him, bro. He looked like he about 170.
At least
175 right now. Like, he looked like a super. He looked like a cruiserweight when he was talking to Tevin Farmer. It was a huge gap.
Dude, and him right next to Ivan. That's crazy, but that's neither here nor there. Let's hold on. There was some controversy though, bro. We're missing the.
There was very much some controversy.
The controversy. Are we looking at Glovegate numero dos? Ooh. You see the picture on the screen there.
Yes, we are.
That's Terrence Crawford's gloves right after the fight.
Yes, we are. And it must be addressed.
For those of you guys that do not know, Terrence Crawford's gloves pretty much just bursted and exploded. The padding was kind of just seeping out of it. And, okay, that happens in boxing, right? It happens in boxing. But they took it over to the Nebraska state commission, and those guys look clueless. Just, what do we do?
They just, let it go. They didn't care. They just was so happy about having a big boxing event with Bud fighting. It ain't been 4 years, so anything go for Bud Crawford. So Nebraska Athletic Commission, BLK Prime, Terrence Crawford.
The ref?
The ref and his corner man. Let me holler at you, right? We talk about tragedies all the time in the sport of boxing. And people and these fighters always tell us, we put our life on the line when we get in the ring. Ain't that what y'all always tell us fighters? Terrence Crawford, his corner, the referee, the Nebraska Athletic Commission, they all knew, and everybody who was around there watching it or who was watching it on TV, you seen both of his gloves was busted, right? And they didn't give two shits. They said, go out here and fight. And what happened? He go out there and knock that dude unconscious.
Next round.
That's no humanity in there to me. It ain't no way that you can explain that. Because do you know the type of power you generate or the type of knuckles that they could feel like when your glove is cut open like that? Like, I had a real big problem with that. And if I'm David Avanesian, I'm going after everybody who I could go after, because I don't care if he had to go get some more gloves somewhere else, if they had to scatter around the whole arena until if it took 20 minutes to get some gloves. They should have been their due diligence to go get some gloves and put them on his hand, Jay.
Fighter safety first. Now, listen, I will say, look, I've got the shot right there on the screen, and I mean, it was kind of off to the sides and all that, but it's just hella coincidental that that's the round that it happened. I don't think the bursted gloves have much to do with Crawford's a powerful man. We're not gonna take it away from him. But why take a chance? Like that was very, very, very irresponsible. And you're absolutely right, dude. If they should be negligent, it could be. If he would have done that himself, he'd be in big trouble. If Crawford intentionally did that, so even just
what you mean if he intentionally did it?
If he intentionally rigged his gloves up, but since it was an accident, it's okay.
It was kind of intentional because if you look on the video, he telling them both of my gloves. If you look in the video, he telling them, hurry up and take my gloves off. They gonna see his toes. It's a video out there where he said, hurry up and take my gloves off. So Terrence Crawford in this corner knew, bro. That's just not humane to me. And they should be held responsible for that. And I want to see, it need to be actions with this because I'm tired of these fighters telling us we put our life on the line, but then when it's an opportunity, when you in there fighting and something like that happened, and you tell us you put your life on the line and you don't do nothing about that and you put the other fighter's safety in on him, I got a big problem with that, Jose Jr. I
got a problem with Crawford charging $40 for a fight, all right, for this fight.
Yeah.
Then, okay, that's me personally.
Me too.
I'm paying $40 for this, all right.
I concur.
I have a problem with Bud totally being okay. If I'm fighting you, and we're both athletes, right? We respect each other. And I see my hands are busted open, or my gloves are busted open, I'm going to say, no, man. First of all, if I knock this dude out, it's going to come with heavy controversy.
Yep.
Second of all, what if I hurt this dude long term?
Yep.
I'm already a dangerous fighter.
Yep.
So I'm not saying to blame Bud, but I'm upset that Bud let it go on.
He knew.
He
knew his gloves was busted.
Yeah,
up.
it's not like it was that's not a minor problem. That's not, the tape was falling off. That's not, you had too much Vaseline. Your boxing gloves were busted open, and the Nevada State Athletic Commission just let it fly.
And you know what make it look more bad? That they say we're going to let it go for one more round. And after this round, we'll do something. Well, Nebraska Athletic Commission, it didn't go for one more round. Did you see what happened to David Avanesian after that fight? That's just horrible, fam.
It's terrible, man. I think somebody's going to get in trouble. Again, there's a reason you don't put one of the bigger fights or bigger fighters you could possibly think of right now on a brand new app, platform, whatever you want to call it. You got to get the kinks out. You got to know where your doctors are at. You got to know who the athletic commission. They got to be ready to make decisions like this, man. Can you imagine, bro, if David Avanesian wouldn't have woke up?
You got Steve Nolan on here calling us Bud haters. How was that hating?
How is that a Bud hater?
How was that hating?
If Avanesian would have had his hands busted, I would have said that's messed up toward Bud.
Now, what if Avanesian would have knocked Bud out? Oh, we had his hands.
Yeah.
And knocked him out. All Bud fans, it would have been controversy today. You know what? Like somebody was saying this last night. They need to go back and turn that into like a no contest. Would you agree with that?
And as terrible as that would be for Bud Crawford, the Nevada State Athletic Commission are going to have to eat it.
No, Nebraska.
Nebraska, my bad, yeah.
Yeah.
They're going to have to, our bad. But it's messed up. It leaves too much room for doubt. And that's the thing, man. Steve Nolan saying we're haters. Look, dude, how am I hate on somebody who I'm a fan of? I'm a Terrence Crawford fan.
Yeah. I'm a fan of, I like Terrence Crawford.
Yeah, I'm a fan of Terrence Crawford. I can't wait to see him fight Errol Spence. I actually have Terrence Crawford as a favorite. Just because I'm saying it was very unprofessional and very dangerous for the Nebraska State Athletic Commission to let a fight go on with busted gloves, I'm hating. Listen, what happened when Fury allegedly had the whole world, like everybody was pissed off. Everybody.
They
Bud
fans,
fans, Spence fans, everybody.
Oh, no. Listen.
It's hypocritical, man.
It's hypocritical of all you dudes out there to even think, how is this hating?
If it was Spence, if it was Canelo, if it was the national amateur championship, something would have been done about it.
Something would have been done.
And I would be pissed still.
But the thing about it, they said let it go on for one more round, and Bud knocked that dude out unconscious.
Yeah, he went 99.
I didn't know if he knew, like, oh, man, I got a whoop-de-whoop, but that's what happened, and that's just terrible for the sport of boxing. That's sending a terrible message. That's showing us fighters that y'all life don't mean as much as y'all tell us it means. Because if Terrence Crawford was willing to continue fighting when he knew both of his gloves was busted open, he had no consideration for that man across the ring who he was fighting, his health or nothing. It was all about Terrence Bud Crawford. It was all about the Nebraska Athletic Commission. It was all about Bomac and his trainers in that corner, because that's an injustice and this despicable of the corner man and Bomac and whoever else y'all got around there talking about trying to hurry up and take the gloves off so nobody won't see them. That's terrible, man.
Yeah. Now I don't. Again, this is my opinion. I don't believe the gloves were resulted in the knockout. That was going to happen, in my opinion. I think it's a terrible look and a terrible coincidence that it happened that way. But again, what if homeboy wouldn't have woke up? Because that could happen. Terrence Crawford's a professional knockout artist. Professional knockout artist. And so instead of saying, oh, you're talking bad about my favorite boxer, Steve Nolan, oh, I'm so angry that you guys are saying negative things, take a step back and just ask yourself, like, what are these guys saying? It was dangerous. That's what we're saying. If it was any fighter. So imagine if your favorite fighter was on the receiving end of that. You'd be upset. But anyhow, Everlast did come out, bro, and they put out.
What they say?
I'm not going to read the whole damn thing because they wrote a whole essay. But
basically, what they say, though, like.
They said no foul play was found at hand, nor was there any tampering of the product on behalf of Terrence Crawford and his camp. Furthermore, Everlast understands that athletes should not be held responsible for defective gear. That's why we offer an unconditional guarantee. What would have happened if homeboy wouldn't have woke up? How's the guarantee? How are you going to have a guarantee then? Guarantee not. But it turns out, real quick, let me get to, as the leader, steps are in place, the process. So they came out and said it was during the development cycle of the custom fight gloves used in Crawford versus Avanesian, a batch of defective leather was used in production, resulting in malfunction during the competition. So Everlast came out and they basically cleared Terrence Crawford of any negligence. They're taking all the blame.
But this was crazy right here, right? You tell them this dude Bernie the boxer, he was on the Boxing Voice today, and Ness, shout out to the Boxing Voice and Ness and Danny. Ness told me that Terrence Crawford told him, because he wasn't there. You know, he said
who wasn't there?
Bernie the boxer. He was in New York in Keyshawn Davis' corner with him, right? So Bernie the boxer called in on the Boxing Voice and told them that Bud busted up a pair of gloves backstage, so they had to put him on the other ones. So this was crazy right here, Bernie the boxer, since you came out there and gave us that free information. If that's the case, why didn't somebody notify somebody around there to make sure they went and got an extra pair of gloves so it could be ready just in case this happened? That was stupid and foolish to even come on there and give information like that.
He's pretty much saying they knowingly went into the fight with one pair of gloves.
One pair of gloves, Jay.
You saw the exact pair of gloves, according to Bernie, just get busted up. And you're going to be irresponsible. Again, we always hear, oh, these people don't care about our lives. And, so you don't care about David Avanesian's life? What if the roles were reversed? You think they would have let that go? Hell no.
Man, listen, and just think about how, I'm going to say black folks when it came to the Deontay Wilder situation. Think how they was in the uproar because they was all saying something was in the gloves. You even had all the top black boxers saying something was in the gloves. They made a big deal about it. Where that smoke at today for Terrence Crawford? Where that smoke at today for the Nebraska Commission? Where that smoke at now for Bernie the boxer telling us that they busted up the gloves in the back getting ready, so they knowingly went in there with one pair of gloves? Where the smoke at for that?
Nope, but instead, we're getting called haters. He said,
crazy.
I didn't say Bud cheated, Mikey. Mikey DeBoyo. He said Bud never cheated. Have you heard us say Bud cheated? No, we said it was irresponsible and dangerous and contradicts everything you ever say about fighter safety. That's what we're saying. So this conversation is geared to Bud's camp. This conversation is geared to the doctors, to the ref, and to the Nebraska Athletic Commission. Nobody is hating. Nobody's saying anybody's cheating. It was stupid, irresponsible.
That was a bad look. And, like, that was their first big fight there in 4 years.
Yep.
So how do you, as boxing people, let something come back to Nebraska for now? I think it should be a suspension for the whole commission. I ain't saying 3 year, 4 year, but I think it should be at least a 1 year suspension for the commission in Nebraska for letting that go on, Jay.
Putting somebody's life at risk. At the end of the day, man, you put somebody's life at risk. Hey, yeah, man, you ready to move on?
Yeah, let's move on.
Before we come back and talk about Teofimo, we got a new partner in No Worries Home Sales. Check out really quick that nice little Christmas message.
Ho, ho, ho! It's Santa here, and this holiday season, I'm bringing with me good tidings of cold, hard Christmas cash. I've teamed up with the good folks at No Worries Home Sale to buy unwanted properties throughout Dallas-Fort Worth. We'll buy any house as is. There's never any repairs to make or realtor commissions to pay. And you can get some Christmas cash for your home in as little as 7 days. So, what are you waiting for? Christmas? Click Get Offer now and submit the short form to receive a free, no obligation cash offer on your home today.
Thanks to our friends at No Worries Home Sale, 855-233-CASH. Listen, if you need some extra cash and you got a house that you don't know what to do with, or you're behind on payments, or you want to sell it but you got way too much to do and repairs and you don't have the time and you're worried about the market depreciating, these guys at No Worries will come. They'll make you a cash offer. You can hit them up, just see what your house is worth, just to know, see what that cash offer looks like, and they'll have you paid out in as little as 7 days. So check it out. And even if you don't have that problem and you know somebody, No Worries Home Sale will pay you $1,000 for referrals. So just call, see what your house is worth. Get a little bit extra spending cash, start over, pay some debt, and take advantage of the market, guys. It's 855-233-CASH. Go check them out at No Worries Home Sale. They have perfect Google reviews. Nobody out there can say that, so check them out. We appreciate you guys at No Worries.
Shout out to Mandy Solomon. She said, in the referral bonuses, yep. If you refer somebody, you get 1,000 big ones. But speaking of dangerous, right? We talked about how dangerous it was for the Nebraska Athletic Commission and all that to let the gloves go on. It was also dangerous for Teofimo Lopez. Let's hear that clip, Jay.
Teofimo Lopez. Let's hear the clip. My bad. You caught me. Here we go.
I still got it.
Yeah. What are your thoughts, man?
Wow.
Yeah, it's big time.
Wow. When you say when you just get through with a fight, right? And I'm with you after that fight. I could see how Teofimo won that fight, right? But it was close. I'm gonna say that. But when you get through with a fight and you lean over to your corner man and they say, you ask them, do you still got it?
You're playing with fire, man.
You didn't know that in training camp when you was getting ready? Teofimo Lopez? What type of sparring partners did you have leading up to the fight? Right? What type of people do you got around you who gaslighting you when they see you in the trenches, in the gyms, getting ready for a fight, when they see the mistakes that you make and they don't correct you? Mm-hmm. Then you have the audacity to turn and say, do I still got it? I think that's dangerous, right? And I don't think Teofimo Lopez right now should have another fight no time soon. I think this guy needs to at least take a good 8 months off, 8 to 10 months off, to really reevaluate himself. Because when you reach for the moon and get up there real quick like Teofimo did, you get this indestructible mindset, right? To where you think you're gonna always be right there. Then boom, you go through adversity. How is you gonna handle this adversity? We seen the way Teofimo handled it after he lost that fight. He kept making excuses and talking about this. Now, after this fight, Jose Jr., he say, do I still got it?
Bro, it's almost uncomfortable to watch, bro, because something looks off. And I'm not even talking about the performance. We'll talk about the performance here in a bit. I had Tio winning 95-94, all right? It could have been the other way, 95-94. It could have been a draw. I have no problem with it. Tio didn't look great. I could see how people gave more rounds to Martin. That one judge that had it 97-92, I believe, that was absolutely absurd. But anyhow, the issue at hand here is something just don't feel right with Teofimo Lopez. We're talking about the same guy who, after his fight with Kambosos, said he won 11 rounds to 2. All right. That's 13 for those of y'all keeping that 13 rounds. Teofimo Lopez never accepted that defeat. Me and Corey talk about all the time accepting defeat in order to grow. And then you sprinkle in you brought it up a little bit ago, his camp, his team, saying, no, you won that fight, you won that fight, you won that fight. So what does that do to your ego? Yeah, I lost the fight on the cards, but I got robbed because my dad said I won that fight. So you don't ever really know, I need to work on this, I need to do better here because I won. I'm still great. I'm still untouchable. I'm still the guy that beat Lomachenko. And then you go into this next fight, and you look meh. And now all of a sudden you're not knocking people out with one shot. These guys are bigger. These guys are more talented than your first 15 fights. So now you're left questioning yourself, man. And then he didn't even know what he got hit with. Remember, he was sitting there arguing, saying, no, it was a right hook. It was a right hook, but Tio thought it was a left. And he's just not there, bro. And it's scary to watch because we know he's had outside the ring problems. We know he's super delusional. The guy's got a lot of talent. I think his dad he needs to move on to new coach because of X's and O's, but his dad is also hurting him mentally. He's putting so much pressure on him that Tio doesn't need right now. It's already hard enough to move up in weight and to film, all that sort of deal.
So you say you think?
I think it's time for him to move on from his pops. His pops ain't a great coach, and his pops.
But that's his pops ain't the problem, Jay.
I think it's a big problem.
He ain't the problem. He's not the problem.
He's the one gassing him up, dog.
He's not the problem, though, because you got to understand, when Tio was a little boy and he was dreaming of becoming who he was now, he was listening to everything his father said, everything.
Mm-hmm.
When they up under you as kids, they listen to everything you say. Tio listened to his dad, but when Tio started making all this money, Tio, can't nobody tell him nothing. So when we say his father is the problem, his father may have increments in there with him being a problem, but I look at Tio being the biggest problem. Even if you bring another coach in, even remember when they had other coach, I think they brought in somebody else. He told me, oh, we ain't gonna do that no more. It been me and my daddy. We did this whoop-de-whoop, and we're gonna continue to do this whoop-de-whoop. But when you start making millions, think how quick he rised.
Mm-hmm.
Tio, right? And he earned every bit of it. But when you start making these millions, your head start turning delusional. Look how he's talking now. Look how he's saying this and that.
Well, I think it's come from his pops. Like you said yourself, he's been listening to everything his pops has said since he's been coming up. So in Tio's mind, in his subconscious mind, my dad doesn't lie to me. My dad's got me all the way here. By listening to my dad, I always have to listen to my dad. So now after a significant loss that the whole world saw you lose to Kambosos, your dad's still saying, no, you won, you won, you won. That's part of the problem. It's making him more delusional than he probably already is. I mean, the dude's got something wrong, and I'm not talking. I don't say that in a shit-talking way. I say that in I hope he gets help way.
Yeah.
And then you can kind of just see, dog, like remember they didn't want to let his baby up in the ring?
Yeah.
And just how like something just seems like is bothering him. I can't put my finger on it. Something don't look right. I'm hope the best for the guy.
He ain't never let that fight with Kambosos
No,
go,
man.
JJ. That's what's wrong with him. He never let it go. Like you just stated, in his mind still, he feel like he won that fight because he came and said he won 11 rounds to 2. So that's how delusional he was. He still ain't let that fight go, bro, because like all these dudes do, they see how Floyd came up. Have the 0. You got to talk your shit. But everybody ain't gonna end up like Floyd.
Oh man.
Like Floyd talked all his shit. Look, but Floyd never lost a fight. So Floyd could always talk shit, always have that arrogant mindset. Think about if Floyd, at the height of his career, would have lost a fight. We don't know how Floyd would have reacted, but that we're going off ifs now. Floyd never lost a fight. These guys came up implementing themselves, thinking they were Floyd. They took that loss, and now T.O. don't know where to go. Now he all of a sudden a professor, talking about everybody up here talented. Let me tell y'all something. When you lose one time, you know, wooty-woo, wooty-woo, wooty-woo. What T.O.? What was all that talk at? When you was champion, you and your whole camp was talking about how you sent people to hospitals and you was just the most indestructible guy on the planet.
Yeah, dog. No, okay, now I'll take it to X's and O's. All right, so point one about Teofimo Lopez, something's up. I hope he gets taken care of. I think his dad is adding to the problem. I think his dad's not a very good trainer. And then I say that to lead into there was absolutely no adjustments from that fight. He got knocked down by damn near the exact same shot twice. They didn't call the second one a knockdown.
Wasn't it the same one Kambosos knocked him down with too?
Yeah, and they made no adjustments. And instead of tweaking it up, instead of cutting off the ring, if you're a badass, if you're an elite fighter, you can't say, "Oh, this guy was running the whole time," because you have to know how to cut off the ring. You don't ever hear Floyd Mayweather, or I hate that we keep bringing up Floyd Mayweather. Let's talk about any great. You never hear him say, "Oh, they were just running." No, because then you need a defense for that. If they're going to run, you cut off the ring. You force them into the corner. You back them into the ropes. T.O. was chasing him and trying to land one shot the whole night. Couldn't put any combinations together. I made the comparison today. T.O. was blaming his lack of knockout on a boxer, a fighter that wouldn't engage. We saw, and we'll talk about Inoue.
You're talking about Inoue.
Yeah, we'll talk about Inoue in a little bit. But Inoue had a fighter that wouldn't engage. Inoue changed it up round after round, trying to get him to engage until he finally got what he wanted, and then we saw the result. Inoue, elite fighter. Teofimo is not there yet. All the potential in the world, we've seen brilliant.
We thought he was an elite fighter because at one point he was an elite fighter. Like beating Vasily Lomachenko, Richard Comey, becoming Undisputed or 3 belts, however they want to call it, because Mauricio Suleiman made this franchise belt. He was an elite fighter at one point. It's just he took that first loss and he ain't never recovered. Like he always talk about life lessons, right? With T.O., if you learned life lessons, if this happened to you and that happened to you, why you ain't able to go through this life lesson like this? Why you ain't able to bounce back from this? Why you crying, moaning, and doing all this other stuff? Bounce back. You just saying it like, oh, if you take one loss, that make you go back and do what you're doing, that make you come back stronger. They was on there talking about, oh, it ain't the takeover, it's the take back.
Yeah. So answer his question. Does he still got it?
I think he still got it. I can't just sit up there and disregard Teofimo as a fighter. My thing is, Teofimo has to listen, because you may sit up there and think his dad ain't no good coach. His dad got him to where he at right now, JJ.
But you hit a wall sometimes,
I know, but that could be true, but it may not be your coach. We see, like, both of them may have problems, but look at T.O. You talking about he didn't even want to listen to his dad in the last round when his dad had told him to sit down. Mm-hmm. He just stood up. So who the boss in that camp? You know what I'm saying? That's a slap in his daddy's face.
And he wasn't listening to his dad's instructions either, because his dad was telling him, don't forget, we got that knockdown. We might be behind. Yeah, his dad was telling him, and he was not doing anything, dog.
That's a slap in his dad's face. His dad telling him to sit down. He wouldn't even sit down, Jay.
Yeah, man, his brain is, like, when you talk to Teofimo Lopez, it looks like his brain is elsewhere. And in a sport like boxing, you have to be 100,000% zeroed, laser focused in on the task at hand. You can't be thinking about your drama. You can't be thinking about who's next. And T.O. just seems like there's so many things going on his brain, dog. He can't even add. He can't answer the questions.
He woke up calling us haters the next morning.
Who did?
T.O., he was calling everybody haters.
Oh, I thought you said, yeah, that's up. I was like,
nah, he was just calling everybody haters, got up doing this little workout, calling everybody haters. No, we ain't hating on you, T.O. We just letting the truth come to the power, when the power come to the truth about you, T.O. Now, this fight right here, JJ, it was to put them at the number one mandatory spot for that WBC belt. And we know who hold that WBC belt in Regis Prograis. Do you think T.O. and them take that fight next? After this not so good performance? I mean, I even hate to say that because that's why I didn't like when Robert Garcia tried to discredit Sandor Martin victory over Mikey Garcia, right?
Oh, yeah.
Sandor Martin just beat the shit out of Mikey Garcia, Robert Garcia. And then Robert Garcia gonna try to tell some of the commentators on there, oh, is Sandor Martin as good as he is? Robert Garcia talking about, no, Mikey wasn't Mikey.
Yeah.
T.O. gonna knock him out. Robert Garcia, shut up.
Yeah.
Like, stop that. Sandor Martin was the goods. Didn't he come in there and prove to you that he was the goods against T.O.? But with me saying that, do you think T.O. take that Regis Prograis fight next?
Bro, I would normally say no, but they don't see anything wrong in how he fought, dog. They again, they're so delusional that they don't see anything wrong, so he probably thinks he can walk right into a bigger opponent like Regis. And I want to take something back. Just a week ago on our live, on TSB Live, I said if I had to choose right now, I'd pick Teofimo Lopez. That was before Saturday. Based on what I saw Saturday, I don't even know if Teofimo gets through 12 rounds against Regis, man.
Yeah.
I see a lot of holes in Regis' game, but Regis
T.O. got more.
Yeah, they both got big holes, but right now I think Regis takes that, dude. Did you hear what Josh Taylor said today about?
What did he say?
He said I wish I'd have got it. My bad. He was like, man, I hope Teofimo's okay. I hope he's good mentally. He's like, he's still him and his whole camp still a bunch of dickheads, but I hope he's okay. So,
can you imagine what Josh Taylor would do to Teofimo Lopez right now? But speaking of Josh Taylor, think about it.
Yeah,
like, because that was a real close fight with him and Regis. We was just talking about this. Like, if you think about Josh Taylor ain't looked the same since he fought Regis.
That's true. That's true. He hasn't been that unstoppable force, man. And
hey, Regis is the real deal. And like you was picking Teofimo Lopez, I picked Regis by knockout. When I look at Regis and I look at the skill set, it's way better than Teofimo. When I look at Regis and I look at a guy that took a tough loss, you know how heartbreaking that was for to almost become unified or keep it unified and losing a close decision like that. He stayed mentally focused and got back on top. He didn't make no excuses about it. You know, he put his boots on and he kept working. He wasn't getting the opportunities that all these other fighters was, but he stayed focused at the goal at hand. I got him putting a massacre on Teofimo Lopez. Yeah, man, I really respect Regis, dog. He got a late start to the game, and he knows he's behind the curve, or he was. He could still be behind the curve. You're not gonna ever call him a savvy veteran, but he puts in the work, bro. He's got the heart, puts in the work, knows what he does wrong, and for that alone, let alone what goes on in the ring, their mindset and the way they treat the sport outside of the ring automatically gives Regis a slight advantage because he's just more focused, more humble, and it's crazy, dude. It's crazy. Teofimo was on top of the world just a couple years ago, dude, and just I think his own fans are turning on him. Like, it's just too much to deal with, dog. Too much to deal with. It's just he was trying, though. It's just he was trying, Jay, because he kept the effort going forward. Like, I'm with you. I don't think he needs to drop his dad. I think he needs to fix his attitude and listen. Now, bring somebody else in if that's going to help. But T.O. has to listen. Like, he want to do all. Like, that's one of the dudes, who came down here want to do all the talking.
Yep.
That's one of those who want to do all the talking instead of listening. Say, oh, I know this, or I know that, or I know this. No, T.O., you don't know shit.
Yeah, dog. We'll see. T.O. praying for you, homie. Humble up a little bit, dog, but
it's been a year, 2 years.
Yeah, man.
How long that humbling gonna take?
You gotta accept the loss. You gotta accept that you didn't look great. And let's take a real quick second to say you started to. Martin fought a hell of a fight. He fought the fight he wanted. And it may not look pretty to all you guys. It wasn't running. That most definitely wasn't running.
That was a boxing performance.
Yeah, he did his thing. He stuck to his game plan. It was working. He lost some rounds. He won some rounds. But he showed that he's a gritty professional fighter. And I think Sandor will make anybody look bad because he sticks to the plan. He's disciplined, man. So kudos to Sandor. Again, I had it for T.O. I wouldn't have been mad if you got it. But the guy showed all kinds of heart. And hey, man, he knocked off Mikey Garcia, and now he made T.O. look real bad. So he's got to start getting some respect in that division now, too.
Want to shout out to our sponsors, KO Therapeutic. Take a quick break.
Before we do that, we haven't even talked about the TSB Toy Bucket, bro.
Oh, yeah.
The TSB Toy Bucket, we have until Friday, guys. We're doing the DFW Toy Drive here with the boxing community coming together. Big thanks to our partners. We've got Coach Kendrick Relaford at Dream Performance, Christine in the ring with Christine. She the Texas Select in Garland. Grady Banks at Maple Avenue.
Shout out to Maple Avenue Boxing Gym.
Maple Avenue Boxing Gym. And Michael Montoya, Coach Montoya.
Shout out to Coach Montoya. Shout out to Christine. Shout out to Kendrick Relaford. We appreciate all you gyms opening y'all arms for our first annual TSB Toy Bucket. This is from the heart.
Yeah.
From me and JJ. This ain't nothing we doing. We don't want to get no extra fans off doing this. This is just something that come near and dear to us, and we really care about this. And we just appreciate y'all partnership for letting us drop off our buckets and y'all getting them buckets filled up for us. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, and like we said, if you're in the DFW area, guys, we got 2 more days. We're picking up on Friday. Oh, and another thing, a big shout out to Counterpunch Clothing.
Oh, yeah,
Counterpunch
big shout out to
Clothing.
Counterpunch Clothing.
They will provide the transportation in the truck for pickup. And, of course, shout out to our partners at KO Therapeutics, who's helped big part of putting this all together. So we came together. This is the first year. Next year's going to be bigger and better. But like Corey was just saying, man, not a lot of these kids don't know who Santa Claus is, you know? And we just wanted to come together as a boxing community, a local boxing community, and do something to give back to the kids that are out there. So look up those. Check out our social media. It's all out there. If you need a donation hub. But yeah, big shout out. We're picking up on Friday, and we'll wish everybody a Merry Christmas. Yeah. Now what you were saying, real quick, before we come back to talk about the new Undisputed 118-pounder. Let's take a look at a message from our friends at KOCBD.
KO.
We all have battles. We fight. We train. We work. We persevere. And we celebrate. We are all one.
I can't do anything if I can't walk in my prosthetic. It's a lot of pain that I feel throughout my day. It can be very intense. Now I just put that balm over it and it will heal up much faster and it will let the callus recover. That's amazing. It is a total game changer. I am hooked. I'm just hooked.
Life is hard. KO makes it better. KOCBD.com.
Thank you one more time, KO Therapeutics. Check our friends out at KOCBD.com. And like I said, the pain relief, be able to sleep more, less anxiety. I promise you guys, check it out. It's amazing. But yeah, man, like we said before the break, we got a new 118-pound. It's been the year of Undisputed, it seems like, right?
Man, hold up.
First Asian Undisputed champ in the 4-belt era. We got a new one. Where's he at? I'm looking for the picture. Sorry.
It really have been a year of Undisputed, bro.
It has been, bro, and we finished off the year. Nobody was surprised by today's results, but anyway, Naoya Inoue, or Inu, or however you want to call it. I say Inoue, you say Inuo. But oh my goodness, dude. Like, what a performance. There's still so many people. We got a little clip of the knockout. Let's play that real quick.
Relentless.
It's insane, man. He's just a monster. That's his nickname's a monster. But here's the thing. Just because he's a little guy and you start giving him credit as because we're updating our pound for pound list. It'll be out here in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But when people start hearing number one pound for pound, they start discrediting him. And I don't understand why. Like every one of his
It's his
fights,
second weight class, right?
third. He's third 3-division champ. He's going for 4 now. He's moving up to 122, and hopefully we get him against Fulton, dog. But he's not getting any respect. You hear who has he fought? He's knocked out the last 7 champs they put in front of him. If you don't want to call homeboy champ today and just call him a title holder, fine. I don't care. He has a belt. He knocked him out cold. He toyed with him for 11 rounds. It wasn't even close, bro. And you still have fans, mainly American fans, who are discrediting him because he's little, as if he has any choice on what size he is. He's already moved. He became champ 9 years ago. He's defended his belt
19 times.
19 times. And he's still getting criticized, dog. You saw what he did with Nonito Donaire. Like, look at his resume, dude. I mean, who do you want to see on there? Terrence Crawford?
Errol Spence?
Yeah, it doesn't make...
Jamel Charlo?
Just because you don't know who he's fighting, then he's not that good.
And then when you run through these divisions like he been running through them, this is just unprecedented. Then he finna go up to 122, bro. Like, now, we know he's special.
Mm-hmm.
But if this dude could go up to 122, where he gonna, because he done came up 3-weight divisions, and you see him, he's small. He pack a punch, but he's small. But if he could go up to 122 and knock off Cool Boy Steph, who everybody talking about, like, dude, this dude is amazing, JJ.
Bro, I don't see any whole. Okay, so listen, as a boxing fan, if you cover the sport, if you watch the sport, if you call yourself a diehard, there's something called the eyeball test. All right, it's a real thing. It's how we measure Jaron Ennis. That's how we measure Boots. Because tell me why a lot of the American public is ready. Boots is on that next level and blah blah blah. He passes the eyeball test. That's why. Inoue passes the hell out of the eyeball test. He can pack a punch. He can take a punch. He can change it up. He can fight southpaw. He fights orthodox. I don't see any holes. His conditioning is A1. He's turned dog.
Hey, Jay, right now in boxing, it ain't nobody doing what Inoue, or what, like you said, whatever they want to call it. It ain't nobody doing what he doing at a consistent basis, not only with skills, but knocking these mothers shut your mouths out, bro.
Bro, and I'm a fan of his. Listen, you can kind of use their argument against him about, well, what division is it? Who's he fighting? He's fighting in a division that's not. The fact that everybody in the world is talking about him now, out of that division, he's not running his mouth. He's not being flashy. He's not doing anything. He's in a division that, according to everybody, is a sorry division. Nobody even knows him. But now he's arguably the number 1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world. Out of that division, that means he's done something to get your attention.
You know who he remind me of? Chocolito. Remember how Chocolito just came out of nowhere? But if you really knew boxing, you knew he was really like that.
Exactly. Chocolatito's a first ballot Hall of Famer, bro. Like, what? But because he's little, he doesn't get the credit. He doesn't get the praise. That's absurd to me, man. But you compared him to Chocolatito. What camera are we on here? Oh, you compared him to Chocolatito, but Chocolatito took, like, it was them traditional Mexican wars. Anyway, has the ability to box, stay away.
No,
or are you just talking about the?
I was comparing Chocolatito when Floyd retired.
I got you.
Chocolatito became the number 1 pound-for-pound fighter.
I got you. I thought you meant in styles, but salute to Anyway. We had to wake up at the crack of dawn to watch the fight, so I'm a little sleepy right now. That card started in the middle of the night, but dude, he put on a performance. And dog, if you were to fight Cool Boy Steph right now, what are your thoughts?
That's tough. It's tough because, like, I would favor Inoue. I would favor him, but it'll be just by the slightest of slightest margins right now. because this will be his 4th division he went up to, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when we look at Cool Boy Steph, he got all the skills in the world. He got all the skills in the world that could give Inoue problems. But the thing is, can he take that punch? Because sooner or later, like when it come to cutting off the ring,
can't know what
he one of the best in the business at cutting out the ring, right? So I favor. Say his name again.
Inoue.
I
sound like I'm saying anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I favor him. The Japanese. Ain't he Japanese?
Yep.
The guy from Japan, the Japanese great. I'm gonna just say
the monster, bro. That's his name.
The monster, bro. I favor the monster. Like I favor him, but I think Cool Boy Steph got a chance if he can make the monster respect his power.
Dog, yeah. And I agree with that assessment, but for me, it's not as close as your mate. The only question I would have from Inoue moving up to 122, the only reason I would say Cool Boy Steph is dangerous in this fight is because of the weight division. 4 pounds doesn't sound like a lot, but 4 pounds to a 118-pounder is a lot. All right, so that's a big jump in weight. So the question for me is, can that incredible power, I mean, the power, you can hear the thuds in his shots, will that carry to 122? I think yes. I think he could take his power to 126, but I'll tap the brakes. But he does it he shoots from everywhere. He works the top, he works the body beautifully. He opens, if you're covered up in a shell, he's gonna bring it down. He's gonna cut the ring off. He's gonna take steps, man. It's a beautiful fight. I hope we see it in 20. To me, the top 3 fights we have to see, I got 4 of them, 3 of them. Usyk Fury, Spence Crawford, and Inoue and Fulton. Those are my top 3 fights that if I had a Christmas list for boxing for 2023, I want to see those 3 fights. And then if you want to sprinkle the Tank Davis, Ryan Garcia, that's kind of a cool social fight that needs to happen. But in terms of straight boxing, those 3 fights right there need to happen. And dog, I'm just as excited about one as I am the other on all 3 of those.
Yeah, me too. I think them are all the fights that we want to see next year. Hopefully they could be made, but like you say, this guy the monster.
Dog, it's on another level, man. And that's not taking it. You got to be.
And Jay, you asking his power go up. His power done went up every division he been at. So it ain't no question will his power go up because every division we done seen him in, it done went up. But my thing is, do you immediately go up there and challenge Cool Boy Steph, or do you go up there and?
Dude, I say you take that fight when you can get it. With all the politics and boxing and stuff these days, like that dude don't need a tune-up, bro. Or he doesn't need to.
Is that fight in America or Japan?
It'll be here because he's been here before. There would be no reason
Cool
to.
Boy Steph ain't popping like. You know it. They gon' Japan. He is.
Dude, he's the king out there.
He's the king out there, bro. Like that's why I asked a real question.
That's a real question.
Because Cool Boy Fulton, salute to him. He a unified champion. I respect that. But when it comes to popularity, he ain't like that. So I know it'll be a big fight over here, but I think it'll be even huger in Japan.
Yeah, but Fulton's the champ at 122. That's his division.
So what that mean?
I know. And
what that mean? Because he's the champ.
I don't mean shit. I don't want you to start bringing up old fights.
No, I ain't gonna bring up. But it don't. But
I think that fight. I think that fight needs to be in Vegas, or I won't be surprised if it's Saudi Arabia. Japan just don't pop. Did you see I don't know if y'all saw the fight. Like they don't even cheer during the. Like it's quiet. You can hear a pin drop. They're real proper out there. They get quiet. They don't have that same energy that you would need for a super fight like Fulton versus Inoue. I don't care where the hell they have it. They go back to Nebraska and that sorry athletic commission. I don't care.
You think Stephen Fulton will go to Japan and take that fight?
I don't think so.
But why wouldn't he then? Like, I question him then because you ain't America's champion. You a world champion.
Yeah.
And when it comes to, and I'm pretty sure Japan will give him a pretty penny to come over there. That fight will be huge.
That fight, okay, for the purists, for the real, for the fans who watch and get up in the morning when, now they're going to love that fight here in the United States, but everybody's going to be tuned in and getting lined up out the door the night the tickets go on sale if that fight's overseas. So you're right, man. I could see it, but it just don't have that pop. It don't have that energy. I want to back up a little bit and make sure. Like I said, I pick either way to win that fight.
Me
But
too.
that doesn't take you got everything you say might say, oh, you hate. I'm not hating on Fulton. Like that dude's a unified champ. He beat Figueroa. He's a hell of a fighter.
And it's a lot of people thought Figueroa won that fight too.
And that's.
I'm talking. There's a
Yeah,
lot of people.
a lot of
To this day,
Yeah.
in my Deontay Wilder voice.
I know the Figueroa family does. They still hold on to that. So, I think the world of Fulton, man. But anyway, to me, is one of those once in a generation talents that just does everything right. It's dangerous and it needs to happen. I hope it happens. And
I done seen fights like that when you think that guy is that guy, them other guys, that other guy end up winning the fight. I don't know. This just make me think about Danny Garcia. I know Danny Garcia and who was that guy he fought the Mexican?
Eric Morales?
No, the Argentine. He was a fighter.
Oh
Everybody thought that Danny Garcia was gonna lose that fight, right? Because this dude was a devastating puncher at the Matisse.
Yeah, Lucas Matisse.
He was a
yeah.
devastating puncher at the time. Danny Garcia won that fight. He a Philly fighter. Stephen Fulton a Philly fighter. So we'll see.
We'll see, and I won't be mad if Fulton wins. You know, I'm okay with being wrong. I'm picking anyway, but I won't bring it back to bring it to America, leave it in America. So I'm all about that. But
hey, Golden Boy popping right now though. They got a lot of stuff lined up.
Golden Boy's super popping. I'm glad you brought that up because I got a little picture of a big announcement we got this week. Golden Boy won the purse bid, and now it looks like Virgil Ortiz stepping up in competition. He's already been taking on some pretty stiff opponents and stiff competition, but looks like we're going to give Virgil versus Stanionis. The Golden Boy won the purse bid. You had the details on it.
It was 2.some million.
2.3,
so
I think, right?
I think Stanionis going to get like 75-25 split. That's like 1.7 to Virgil like 5.4.
That's
5.5, something like that.
Ooh, bro, you do math in your head.
This is a good fight right here, Jay.
Dog, this is just like we've been dealing with welterweight division and who's at the top but this right here it'll be ready just to hand the torch over to Virgil if he gets off, or the winner of this fight. Obviously, I favor Virgil a little bit. We know him a little bit more, that sort of deal. But if Virgil comes out here and wins his fight, especially convincingly, he's ready to grab that torch from when Spence and Crawford do their thing and move on up. And then hopefully we see the boots conversation. But I'm excited about Virgil. You think it's in Dallas, dog? Virgil Stanionis?
I think I think this is the only place it can be.
Golden Boy.
Unless Oscar put it in L.A. because
trying to grow him.
It's a big Mexican fan base in L.A. But I think this make perfect sense. He just featured Virgil down here fighting McKinson here. I think it makes sense to have it here because Virgil is a Mexican American from Grand Prairie, Texas. We got a huge Mexican following here, and I think it's smart if Oscar start capitalizing on that, right?
Yeah.
Because when I look at Virgil, I'm telling people this. He pitching excellence. It ain't been a dude who survived to the last round with him. And I think when you got a fighter like that, Virgil trying to pick up his popularity. He's quiet, but he young though. It ain't like these older fighters age. He's young and he could grow into it. But I think if Oscar De La Hoya and Golden Boy are smart, they put that fight here in Dallas to help build his base down here in Dallas because you got not only Mexican Americans. I'm just saying that because he Mexican Americans, but Virgil will have a lot of people come out and see him, bro.
Man, I'm happy the fight's happening.
But I'm like this on the fight. I don't know.
You don't know?
I don't know.
Yeah, dog.
I just don't know because you got two hungry guys in Virgil and Stanionis, right? I just don't know. I think both of them want it just as bad as the other, but I don't know.
Yeah, dog. I'm gonna lean toward Virgil again. If I'm probably making that assessment because I've seen Virgil more. We've had the opportunity to see Virgil in working
I
out.
definitely think Virgil the favorite.
Yeah. And if I had to pick, I'm going to pick Virgil. But it's not going to be a walk in the park. It's not going to be the fights we've seen in the past with Virgil. It's not going to be a guaranteed knockout. You know, he might get to that 12th round for the first time in his career. And if he does, all right, that means you're stepping up competition. Yep. But man, big congrats to Golden Boy. I'm glad they won that purse bid, and God, I can't wait to see it. 2023 lining up for good boxing.
Yeah, and another good boxing match that they talking about that may happen in the April, May, June or something. They saying they gonna line up Deontay Wilder versus Andy Ruiz. I think that's a great matchup. I look at Andy Ruiz as a skillful fighter. He bigger than, I think he more skillful, skill-wise, than Deontay Wilder, right? But I think Deontay Wilder packed that punch.
Oh, yeah.
And I think with Ruiz being the difference between them, it's going to be a good fight. I don't know who win that fight either.
I pick Wilder on that fight if they make it happen. Ruiz is in love with his money, man. Corey, I know we've kind of hit our topics, but I wanted to bring something up to you real quick. I wanted to bring a little old school. We hadn't done this in a while. Can you see your screen? Do you see it yet or no?
No, go ahead.
You don't see it? Yeah, I brought up the spitter shit, bro. It's a little baby one. Okay. It's a little baby one, but I wanted to hear your thoughts on this tweet. This tweet we saw this week. This is the Spit Bucket Spitter shit. Let me see if I'll find a tweet. Manny Pacquiao declared that he's willing to come out of retirement at 44 to fight Errol Spence or Terrence Crawford. He says, I'm eager to test him. I'm still here. Even though I've been retired more than a year, I work out almost every day. Corey Bradshaw, 44-year-old legend Manny Pacquiao calling out Errol Spence Jr. or Terrence Crawford. Is that a spit or is that some shit?
That's a shit. Manny Pacquiao, a real fighter, A-division champion, illustrious career. You're going to feel like that. That's why I ain't even commented on this.
Yeah, I know, bro. Okay.
I ain't, because I think it's shit. You know what I'm saying? I think Manny Pacquiao got that warrior spirit like all older fighters. They come back and take that last beating that they shouldn't have took.
And he kind of did with Ugas. I mean, he looked terrible against Ugas, dude. So yeah, I just wanted to bring that up because everybody loves Manny. We were talking about fighter safety earlier. You got to consider that too. Like Terrence Crawford or Errol Spence, that's not. They pack punches, heavy work, and so yeah, I wanted to bring that up just to see what folks thought about it.
We're gonna be honest. Terrence Crawford ain't been fighting people on Manny Pacquiao level, so that might be. I'm just playing.
Hey man, he brings them Everlast gloves. Who knows what can happen? But yeah, we about to call it. Just one more reminder: we got our toy bucket. Check out our social media for the 4 donation hubs.
Real quick, do you think in the next coming days we're gonna see
Haney Loma?
No. The Nebraska Commission and anybody else involved in that. Do you think we're gonna see some heavy fines, or do you think we're gonna see some suspensions for them being irresponsible to let it go? Do you think we're gonna see it in the next couple of days, or do you think this just gonna get wiped
under the rug? I think there's a responsibility that somebody needs to address it. To answer your question, I don't think we're gonna hear about it. I don't think they're gonna do anything to it. I think Nebraska might not get a big fight for a while, but I think that's gonna be the extent of the punishment. Punish the whole state and not have a big event there. But yeah, I don't think so, and it's a shame, man. Somebody needs to be held accountable. That could have been way worse.
They tried to talk about the ref need to be held accountable. No, she don't. She took him over there.
She did her job.
And she did her job and showed the athletic commission, and they said let it go one more round. Like you said, we knew Terrence Crawford was going to win that fight. That's not the point. We always knew that. But this right here, I'm not going to let this go. Somebody is going to have to be held accountable for this.
No doubt, brother. Well, man, we good here? Yeah, I think we good. Good time back. We got our awards show coming up in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So please tune in. We'll be handing out Fighter of the Year and Knockout of the Year and all that sort of deal.
And we got our pound for pound list coming a couple of weeks too.
Yeah, and then January 2nd, we have our
award,
our anniversary.
Our anniversary, our 1-year anniversary of us starting the Spit Bucket. Man, I can't wait to talk about that because, we're going to highlight everything we did in 2022. We're going to highlight everything. It's been a big year for us, and we appreciate everybody out there who've been supporting us.
No doubt. Appreciate KOCBD.com, discount code TSB10. Thanks to No Worries Home Sale and everybody's who are helping out with the toy drive. If y'all have any questions on the toy drive, hit us up on our social media. Otherwise, appreciate it. Thanks for you guys tuning in. We'll holler at y'all next time.
It's Corey Bradshaw, Mr. RTBA. Mr. These boys can't touch me on my worst day.
And this is JJ Solomon.
And this is the Spit Bucket Podcast. And this is the Spit Bucket Podcast.